is, and we are just moments away now from a big hearing on the Benghazi terror attack. Outgoing Defense Secretary Leon Panetta had been pressed to make this appearance, and he will do that this morning. He faces the Senate Armed Services Committee. South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham has wanted to have this opportunity to question Leon Panetta about what he knew and what the president knew and what the Pentagon knew about what was unfolding on the ground in Benghazi that night. And we are very pleased to have the senator with us this morning. Good morning, Senator Graham. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
A lot of questions, obviously, are still out there. I think a lot of people have moved beyond this Benghazi story, but I know it was very important to you before we got a new defense secretary to question the current one. What do you want to ask him this morning?
Why could we not respond in a better fashion? How could these people be left undefended for 7 hours on 9/11? And most importantly, what did our Commander-in-Chief, Barack Obama, do to come to the aid of these people? I want to know in detail what the president's actions were. We know everything he did in the bin Laden raid. They're making 2 movies about it, and we know virtually nothing about his leadership.
That's
so I'm going to try to find out what the president did.
I mean, what do you expect? You know, one of the things we saw in the Hillary Clinton hearing was that there were a lot of questioning and not a whole lot of answers. It took up, you know, a lot of time was spent posing the question. Do you expect a different kind of tenor in there this morning and a different pace? And will he be pressed on things like where was the president during those hours? And why did you call this a 911 call that, you know, it can't equate to a 911 call, Leon Panetta said?
Well, during the hearing, you only get 5 minutes, so it's very important to get information. I hope we have 2 rounds. The first thing I want to know is in detail, what did the president do? What orders did he make? If he ordered assistance to be rendered, at what point did he give that order? Why did no one show up? You know, General Dempsey said the military responded appropriately to Benghazi in his written statement. I'm going to ask him what would have been an inappropriate response. The system failed, and the Department of Defense needs to be held accountable. But the person I blame the most for Benghazi is President Obama. It's his light footprint foreign policy strategy that allowed this consulate to become a death trap. He's the one to share the blame above all others.
Yeah, and as your colleague John McCain, Senator McCain, pointed out, the last 2 SEALs, we believe, according to the timeline, were killed in the final hour of a 7-hour siege. So it makes the argument that, you know, you can't respond to this like a 911 call and that they simply couldn't get there in time a little more complicated, doesn't it?
It makes it a system failure. It's an unacceptable result. When General Dempsey said DOD responded appropriately, I think not. Not one DOD asset reached these people before they were evacuated for over 7 hours. And when the attack started, no one knew it would last 7 hours. So I just find it dumbfounding to believe we could not provide any military assistance on 9/11 of all days. And given the history of the threats, the reports coming out of Libya about the consulate and the deteriorating situation, this is system failure. Nobody's pressing the president. The mainstream media has given the Obama administration a pass, and that needs to stop.
Obviously, we're also going to hear from the CIA, you know, the man who's expected to be the head of the CIA, John Brennan, who's a top security advisor to the president at the White House. You know, there's so much focus now on the drone issue, and I want to get your thoughts on that because I know you're supportive of that program overall. But do you think that because of the drone issue, that John Brennan will get a pass on what he knew and what he understood about what happened on the ground in Benghazi? Because we really haven't heard from him on that.
Isn't that a really good question? The counterterrorism director for the United States has not said one word about the actions he took when he was notified. There's a counterterrorism joint task force by law that's supposed to meet when there's a terrorist attack. They weren't even called into session. I'll ask Panetta why that was so. But yeah, no one's asked John Brennan anything about Benghazi, and he's in the chain of command to do something about it. It's just dumbfounding the lack of scrutiny this administration's had regarding Benghazi.
Yeah, we know that Hillary Clinton was basically up all night answering phone calls and trying to get the governments in the area to help. You know, she said she was yelling on the phone, you know, please send some help from from the Libyan government. You know, we don't know where John Brennan was. We don't know where the president was during those hours. And we also know that John Brennan did not choose to appear on the Sunday shows to explain what had happened. And it's also a question as to why that would be, right?
Well, why did Hillary Clinton not appear? And the one thing I can say about Secretary Clinton, she could not have possibly had a clear-eyed understanding of the threats we faced in Benghazi Libya if she didn't know of the August 16th memo from Ambassador Chris Stevens saying we can't defend the place against a coordinated terrorist attack and al-Qaeda flags are flying all over Benghazi. So her statement that the State Department had a clear-eyed view of the threats makes no sense in light of the fact she knew nothing about what the ambassador was saying. And if we're getting cables from our ambassadors throughout the world, we can't defend consulates, and that's a routine matter. We really are in trouble.
Let's talk about the drone program, because I don't have all that much time left, and I want to ask you about what you think. I know you're very supportive of the president's drone program, as you were of President Bush's take on the war on terror. Do you think that John Brennan will be pressed on this issue? And what about the hypocrisy that has been leveled against those who were very anti-President Bush's war on terror and now seem to have no problem with the drone program?
Yeah, the political hypocrisy is stunning, but we're in a time of great danger. The drone program to kill high-level al-Qaeda operatives when we find them anywhere in the world serves our national security interests. Anwar al-Awlaki was a senior al-Qaeda operative who coordinated attacks against American interests throughout the world. He happened to be an American citizen. An American citizen can, under our law, be an enemy combatant subject to capture, being killed. So I think the drone program has made us safe. But here's where Obama's let us down. We've captured one person in the last 4 years because he won't use Gitmo. We're losing a lot of valuable intelligence. Dead men do not give you much information. So I like the drone program. I hate the fact that we're out of capturing terrorists and out of the interrogation business. That makes us less safe.
And it undercuts our intelligence, obviously, when you can't question any of these people, right?
Dead men don't talk.
All right. Lindsey Graham, Senator, thank you so much. Very good to have you with us, and we'll watch with great interest these hearings and your questions today, sir. Many thanks.
Thank you, Martha.